The number 10 deep dish pizzeria in Chicago is Giordano's. It was founded in 1974 on the South Side by Italian immigrants. Giordano's has now grown to several locations around the country, including Wisconsin, Colorado, and Florida. Of course, they're famous for their stuffed pizza. What's good, YouTube? I'm Louis Gusto. Welcome back to Chicago. Make sure you finesse that like button and subscribe to the page for more content just like this. Today, we're gonna be talking about and eating the best deep dish pizza pies in the Windy City. At number 9, we have Gino's East, another Chicago chain that has grown outside of Illinois to places like Los Angeles and even Singapore. Gino's East was founded in 1966 by taxi drivers, yeah, believe it or not. Moving up the list to number 8, we have The Art of Pizza, with a location in Lakeview on Ashland, just south of Belmont. The Art of Pizza in Lakeview, they've been here for over 30 years. The Art of Pizza comes with a lot of accolades, besides you guys commenting all the time that we need to try Art of Pizza. First of all, in 2001, the Tribune named them the number 1 deep dish pizza in Chicago. Thrillist named them number 1 as well, and they made the Zagat list year after year after year. Here's my slice. It's cooled a little bit, so fork and knife, we threw that away. You can get this pizza by the slice. Technically, it's a stuffed pizza, but we're gonna throw it in the ring with the rest of the deep dish pizzas. Let's take a bite. That is a big bite. The crust isn't crispy, but it does have a good chew to it. So far, this is really, really amazing. So when I first heard the name Art of Pizza, I thought it was like an artistic pizza, like the sauces, the paint strokes, but it's actually from the name of the owner, Art Chabez. So when you get to the end, the crust actually is a lot crispier. The taste is reminding me a little bit of pan pizza. I'm ready to give my ratings of this Art of Pizza, deep dish or stuffed pizza, whatever you want to call it. Starting with the crust, 3 out of 5. I like the chew to it. I like the crispiness on the outside, but I gotta say that it is just a touch too greasy for me. The cheese is a 5 out of 5 for me. This is exactly the type of cheese that you want in a pizza, deep dish or otherwise. Super melty, it's a little salty, great flavor. The sauce, I'm gonna give a 4 out of 5. Chunky, there's a lot of it, definitely very flavorful. Finally, the sausage, I would say 3.5 out of 5. I can't really find the sausage among this mountain of pizza, so I did pick out a little piece, tasted it on its own. It had a little bit of spiciness to it, but the flavor just wasn't all the way there for me. Overall, again, another super solid deep dish pizza. It's time to eat at our number 7 pizzeria, and of course, it's a classic. Lou Malnati's. Deep dish pizza is perhaps the most iconic in Chicago. This is the one that tourists are going straight for, even if they're only here for one night. And Lou Malnati's is a perfect place to get a classic Chicago deep dish pizza. Rudy Malnati worked at Uno's and is said by some to have created the deep dish recipe. In any case, one of his sons founded the Lou Malnati's franchise, and the rest is history. We have the classic Lou Malnati's butter crust deep dish pizza with pepperoni. Coming in at number 6 in the list of best deep dish pies is Paisano's. Stop on the deep dish pizzeria tour of Chicago. We're at Paisano's in the Rush and Division neighborhood. It's a cold, windy day. It snowed a ton yesterday, so I am ready for some more deep dish. Let's go inside. Paisano's was founded by Rudy Malnati Jr. in 1991, and today they have 4 locations across Chicago. We got a medium deep dish pizza with cheese and sausage. Rudy Malnati Jr., as you may have guessed, is the son of Rudy Malnati Sr. We got a beautiful slice right here, lots of sauce, melty cheese, I can see a piece of sausage, Italian seasonings. Crust looks golden brown and delicious. Why am I still talking? Let's dig into this deep dish pizza slice. You pick up the slice and the cheese and sausage is gonna fall everywhere while it's hot. Unless you're eating this cold, you wanna use a fork and knife. Trust, let's go. Wow, that is incredible. Oh my God. That crust is nice and crispy, even though it's on the bottom of the pan. Something about this crust where it's a little bit extra crispy, I really love that. Of course, like the pizza is incredibly delicious. Keep in mind, I worked legs earlier, so I built up a nice appetite. Also keep in mind, this is not a fast food. When you come into a deep dish pizzeria, you gotta expect to wait 35, 40 minutes for that pie to be baked to perfection. So just keep that in mind. They're gonna tell you it takes 35 minutes, is that okay? So. But of course it's okay. You can't rush perfection. This is almost like a tavern style type of crunch to the crust. And you got big pieces of sausage in there. Tomato sauce is really, really savory. There are also Italian seasonings all over the top. Nice final touch. Now that's deep dish. I'm not sure why, but I feel like it tastes different when you cut it with a fork and knife versus when you're holding it in your hand and eating it. Put it in the comments below if you kind of have that same feeling when you're eating deep dish. All right, I got my second slice. I had 2 slices at Bartoli's, so it's only fair to have 2 slices at every place before I give my rating. The pizza has cooled off quite a bit, so I don't really need a fork and knife anymore. I could eat it by hand. The cheese goes on top of the crust, and that's how the crust stays so crispy. I really like the crunch in this. So good. Talking about the crust, I would say 4.5 out of 5. I love the crunch, and I love that it's not too much crust, so you really focus on all the toppings, the cheese, the sauce, and the sausage, but it can have like a little tiny bit more flavor for me. The cheese for me, 5 out of 5, easy. It was super melty. Similarly, 5 out of 5 for the sauce. I just really love the Italian herbs and spices on the top, plus those tomatoes just really have a nice kick to them. And then finally the sausage, I would say 4 out of 5. I wish the sausage was just a little bit more flavorful. Definitely a great pizza here at Paisano's. One more bite. The 5th best deep dish pizza in Chicago can be found at My Pie Pizzeria in the Bucktown neighborhood. My Pie Pizza has been around since 1971. They actually have a really cool story, which I'll start to tell you about after I take my first bite of this amazing deep dish pizza. The first My Pie Pizza opened up in the Rogers Park neighborhood of Chicago in 1971, and 2 years later they became the first Chicago deep dish restaurant to open outside of the state of Illinois, and they actually had franchises all over the country, even one, ironically enough, in Gainesville, Florida. Only one remains, and that is in Bucktown. Really, really crunchy. Because we got this pizza delivered, it didn't arrive in that fresh out the oven state. We had to throw it in the oven for about 10 minutes on 350, kind of bring it back up to normal temperature. Still really good, but I would imagine it's gonna taste even better if you get it right there. A little pro tip, by the way, if you get deep dish pizza delivered to your house, you wanna ask for it uncut. The crust for me is a 5 out of 5. I really like that it has a nice crisp, reminds me of tavern style pizza, but after that crunch, you get that softer, doughy type of feel, and the crust isn't even really that thick. With the cheese, I'm gonna go 4 out of 5. It's just not a lot of cheese. I can't really decide if I love the cheese or if it's just okay, because there's just not that much of it. I really love the sauce, the Italian herbs on top, the tomatoes is falling out every bite I take, and they give it a little char too, so you get little black spots on the sauce. A unique twist, 5 out of 5. And then finally the sausage, I have to give it 3 out of 5. First of all, again, just like the cheese, there's not a whole lot of sausage, and then when you do bite, it's not bad, but it's just okay. And when you're talking Chicago style deep dish pizza with Italian sausage, you want that sausage to be flavorful. You keep eating. At number 4, we have another new classic Chicago pizzeria with 2 locations. It's Bartoli's. Having been founded in 2013 by Brian Tondrick, they're located right off the Addison Brown Line station. Let's go inside and get some deep dish. Steve Dolinsky calls this his #1 Chicago deep dish pizza, so it has quite a reputation preceding it. They also do sell it by the slice. I take big bites of pizza. That's the only way to do it in my opinion. So they brought that pizza fresh out the oven. All the flavors are meshing super well together. I gotta get a second bite. With deep dish pizza, there are 2 debates. Now, outside the city, the debate is this real pizza or not? And of course, you all know that infamous Jon Stewart rant. He goes off and says that it's not pizza. We're gonna ignore that because the fact of the matter is, this is pizza, period. Now, inside the city, there's that debate, do real Chicagoans eat deep dish pizza? And the answer is, it kind of depends. Personally, if I'm not filming for the channel, I'm going for that tavern style pizza that most people go for. Growing up, that's what my family ordered pretty much every single time. Now, when I have friends and family coming into town, yeah, they want deep dish. So we'll take them to Lou's or Gino's or Giordano's, because that's usually where they want to go. So I indulge them. But there are other locals that eat deep dish pizza on a regular basis. It just depends on your own taste. Obviously, all these deep dish pizzerias, they're not gonna survive just off the tourist dollars alone. It's been a cold and snowy weekend, so a nice warm deep dish pizza pie is perfect to feed the soul. When you got a big slice of pie and the cheese and sauce are oozing everywhere, you probably wanna use a fork and a knife. But once you get to the end of the pizza, you could just pick up the crust like this and go for it. The crust goes from golden to brown on a nice gradient. That tomato sauce is beautiful red. You can tell they use fresh tomatoes here. So much cheese is just oozing out as you slice it. All right, for the crust, I would say 4 out of 5. I liked it under the pizza, but once I got to the end and started eating the crust, it wasn't as good to me. The sauce, though, I have to give a 5 out of 5. It's got a little bit of tanginess. The tomatoes, they taste very fresh. For the cheese, I'm gonna have to say 4 out of 5. It was nice and ooey gooey, but it lacked a little bit of flavor, like a little bit of bite to it. But the sausage, I have to give a 5 out of 5. It's kind of unique to me, like seeing the big chunks of Italian sausage in there. The flavor was on point, and every flavor of everything meshed well together. So overall, a great piece of pizza. Now let's get into our top 3 best deep dish pizza pies in Chicago. But before we talk about that, make sure you finesse that like button and subscribe to the page for more content just like this. Also, don't forget to check out my retro gaming channel, Luis Gusto Games. It's linked in the description below. At number 3, we have George's Deep Dish located in Edgewater. Chicago deep dish pizza with a crust inspired by a famous Greek flatbread. That Greek flatbread happens to be lagana, which is similar in nature to a focaccia. We're here in Edgewater at George's Deep Dish to try 2 of the signature pizza pies, because all around Chicago, you're gonna find amazing deep dish creations like these 2 pies here at George's. The McFly Sci-Fi is for all my vegetarian friends. You got cherry tomatoes, goat cheese, baby spinach, Castelvetrano olives, and roasted garlic. Of course, that comes with some mozzarella cheese, a caramelized crust, and a slice made for you. Cheers. I often say things like this on the channel, but this pizza is unlike any that I've ever had in my life. It's almost like a Greek salad decided to set up shop on a deep dish pizza. I can taste every note, from the olives to the goat cheese to that sweet tomato sauce. The crust itself is such a beautiful chew. I'm gonna go for another bite. This is the lightest and healthiest deep dish pizza I've ever had. And this crust is so light and airy, I feel like I could toss it and it would just fly like a Frisbee. Wow, that is incredible. I love roasted garlic, love olives, and y'all know I'm getting them greens in with that baby spinach. Now I'm gonna go for the Halas Classic, of course named for George Halas, Papa Bear, creator of the Bears, no longer with us, rest in power. This has Italian sausage, red onions, green peppers, and cremini mushrooms, all with that same caramelized crust and sweet tomato sauce. This reminds me of what a lot of pizzerias call their deluxe, which usually includes the same type of ingredients. Difference with these is I can tell from sight alone that they are premium ingredients. And y'all know I must have a lot of willpower if I can talk so much about pizza while it's right up in my face and not take that bite. But that willpower has now dwindled to 0%, if you excuse me. This is an incredible slice of pizza, and it demonstrates what I really love about pizza is you can have nearly identical ingredients as the base, switch up the toppings, and you've got 2 totally different foods, a classic Chicago food that only the real ones are gonna know about. That Italian sausage is so flavorful, mixed with the onions, peppers, and mushrooms. Oh my God, I was really feeling this vegetarian one, but then, you know, I got to have my meat. This one is out of this world. Really loving this slice, and it's nice and hot from the oven. So cheesy and so crispy. We've got some cornmeal underneath the crust. got that caramelized edge right here, and the super premium ingredients all adds up to a award-winning pie here at George's Deep Dish. Phenomenal. The runner-up in our list of best deep dish pizzerias in Chicago is Pequod's. We featured Pequod's in our Ultimate Chicago Travel Guide of 2021. It blew us away. We are back to throw their pie into the mix for Chicago's best deep dish pizza. Welcome to Pequod's. Pequod's stands out. First, because they're the only one that actually was founded in the suburbs, then came into the city of Chicago. They're also unique because it's not a true Chicago-style deep dish pizza, but rather a pan pizza that's made in a deep dish. In 1992, they came to Chicago's Lincoln Park neighborhood. We recommend this to almost everybody that we care about. Even though they do call this a pan pizza, it is very close to Chicago-style deep dish pizza. That crust had a nice crispy crunch to it. Then the inside was a little bit softer, kind of like a freshly baked bread. That sausage is extremely flavorful. This might be the most savory sauce that we've had. A lot of the other ones were more of like a tangy, very tomatoey. This is just a phenomenal slice of pizza. Outside of the chain, Pequod's might be the most famous deep dish pizza restaurant in Chicago. Like a freshly baked Italian bread with cheese, sauce, and toppings. This is the caramelized crust. This is what Pequod's is probably most famous for. It is truly a game changer. So good. I did notice that as the pizza cools off, it's not quite as crispy. Just keep that in mind. It's very crispy when it's hot out the oven. All right, after a slice and a half, starting with the crust, oh man, I'm gonna have to say 4.5 out of 5. I love that caramelized crust. The crust, like I said, is almost like a freshly baked bread, but I have to think a half a point because once it starts to cool down, that crunch disappears. And that's kind of a big deal to me. That first slice was like crunch, and I really love that. The sauce, I'm gonna have to give a 4 out of 5. It's very savory, but I am missing those whole tomatoes that we've had in some of the other pies. The cheese, I'm gonna give a 4 out of 5, and the Italian sausage is a perfect 5 out of 5 in my opinion. It's so flavorful, it comes in big chunks. You're not going on a scavenger hunt through the cheese and the sauce. Overall, Pequod's comes through again. Love this place, and I can definitely say we will come back again and again. And the best Chicago deep dish pizzeria is Millie's Pizza in the Pan. They started off as a ghost kitchen in Logan Square, then opened up a brick and mortar location in Uptown Chicago that now move into the Noble Square neighborhood. Now, believe it or not, my fellow pizza fanatics, there are multiple types of deep dish pizza. You've got the Chicago-style deep dish pizza, made famous by Lou Malnati's and Paisanos. You've also got the Chicago Pan deep dish pizza. Today, we're at Millie's Pizza in the Pan. This is the custom untitled pizza. Robert made it up special for us today. We've got pepperoni, we've got mozzarella cheese, we got ricotta cheese, we got pepperdew peppers, jalapenos, sweet peppers, of course that beautiful sauce, and Edzo pepperoni. He started this as a ghost kitchen in Logan Square, but since that day has gone on to win Best New Restaurant by the Chicago Tribune, Thrillist, Time Out, and Infatuation. He was also recently a participant in Good Morning America's United States of Pizza competition. I could continue to list all the accolades, but if I did that, the pizza would start to get cold, and you know that's a big no-no where we come from. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my first slice. As usual, this looks beautiful, so thick, Chicago style. Look at that. We got the caramelized mozzarella. Oh wow, I'm gonna dive right in. Bon appetit. Ever since we filmed our Uptown Neighborhood Guide, I have been looking forward to trying this pie once again. It's truly a masterpiece pizza, and it kind of inspires my personal philosophy on pizza. The East created it, the Midwest decorated it. This is so good. I would just get these crusts with a dipping sauce. Oh, that would be phenomenal. Great snack after the gym. Nice pick-me-up in the morning with a cup of coffee. Make sure you get an untitled pie and say what's up to Robert. If you made it this far in the video, you are a true legend. Make sure you finesse that like button and subscribe to the page for more content just like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.